Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
The football season is only days away, and NDSU's new media restrictions have been in the spotlight this past month. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Andrea is off. NDSU President Dean Brashani was criticized over the guidelines that some in local media felt were too restrictive. Now, newly uncovered documents show disagreement at the state level and in local media regarding how the process was handled and if Brashani did anything wrong. We here at Valley News Live and Radio FM Media won the bids for broadcast, but we thought it was important to show you that NDSU's media restrictions presented last month are only new to this area, but not to other schools in the state. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop investigated what's really behind the problem and the mess it's caused for the State Board of Higher Education.
If you go back a few weeks ago, NDSU announced guidelines on how local media can cover their teams. It included things like only 3 minutes of video could be used from a single game, and it was allowed to be used on the web. No live reports from game locations 30 minutes before and after a broadcast. Blogs and social media posts were permitted during the games, but they could not describe the play-by-play of the game. NDSU also issued guidelines on interviews. Requests for interviews must be made 24 hours in advance, and no more one-on-one interviews with head coaches during the season. NDSU isn't much different than other schools in the region. Take the University of North Dakota, for example. They only allow 2.5 minutes of video to be used in a newscast for only 7 days following the event. The video can be shown on the media's website. Now, at the University of Nebraska, which is in the Big Ten Conference, they allow only a maximum of 2 minutes of game video to be shown in the following 7 days in a newscast, and it cannot be placed online. The NCAA places additional restrictions on media entities. They stipulate a media group may blog during the game, but cannot produce any form of a real-time description of the event, and limits their live abilities. Local media that did not win the bids were upset. Forum Communications was one that was very vocal about the change, even calling in one editorial for NDSU President Dean Brashani to resign. But they themselves wanted restrictions if they would have won the bid process. In their TV proposal, they asked for exclusive pre- and post-game access in the locker rooms, barring any other media. They also made unusual requests beyond restrictions, like this one, asking for NDSU to share in the expenses for expensive lenses for their broadcast cameras. They also asked for money back from the 5-time national champs if they didn't win at least 8 games. The forum soon began to ask the State Board of Higher Education for comments and actions on the new guidelines. A statement was released by the board claiming they were processing the information and, quote, this new development is serious and consistent with communication issues the board previously identified in Dr. Brashani's improvement plan.
But not everyone on the board agreed with the statement. Documents obtained by Valley News Live show multiple board members felt the statement was out of line. North Dakota University System Chancellor Mark Haggart questioned why the statement was released and wrote in the first place. In a text message to another board member, he said, yesterday's statement hastily and unnecessarily threw fuel on a fire that our board should have been helping to extinguish. Other messages show employees at Forum Communications questioning the honesty of Brashani and claiming their company was targeted. Board member Greg Stamen wrote in a text message to talk show host Mike McFeely, competition allows you to get better every day. Not a great decision to limit it or constrain it. McFeely responded, bingo, nail in DB coffin, dumb, and then he called someone an obscenity. Stamen responds saying he doesn't think that and believes, quote, stuff with Dean is honestly progressing. And it was ultimately a poor decision by the athletic department and Dean signed off on. McFeely later says the Forum Com bid was not one they were going to accept, but the additional restrictions were over the top. They were trying to protect Jim Ingstad's radio station and screw us. Not acceptable. So where does everything stand? NDSU rescinded the restrictions and announced they will spend more time studying the issue. The State Board of Higher Education does plan to discuss Brashani at their November meeting. However, it's unclear what if or anything will come out of that meeting. Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
NDSU did not want to comment on the text messages and emails. Radio FM Media would only say that they're proud to have been awarded radio coverage rights. We also reached out to Mike McFeely with Forum Communications for a comment regarding his text. He didn't get back to us. If you'd like to see the documents from the bid process, the contracts, as well as the text and emails we have referenced, go to valleynewslive.com and look for this story. North Dakota's 3 candidates for governor shared the stage tonight for the first time. Tonight's debate in Bismarck gave Republican candidate Doug Burgum, Democratic candidate Marvin Nelson, and Libertarian Martin Riske a chance to share their ideas for how to make the state a better place. Burgum says he wants to make state government more efficient. Nelson painted himself as someone who can get things done.
That I'm approachable even when we don't agree, and that I can solve a lot of these things. That's what I do, is I solve problems.
Many of these areas have gotten more money for the last 10 years, but the results haven't gone up. And one of the things I'm very interested in is not focusing on a contest of who gets the most money, but focusing on who's delivering the best results.
Martin Riske says he wants to make sure independent auditors keep a watchful eye on state agencies. The election is on November 8th. The I's have been dotted and the T's crossed to put Donald Trump and running mate Mike Pence on the November ballot in Minnesota. Last night, the two were not listed on the Secretary of State's list of those who had filed to run for president. The state GOP chairman, Keith, said that all of the proper paperwork, has been submitted to get Trump and Pence on the ballot immediately. Moorhead Road construction is going to impact your kids getting to school. Administrators with the district say it's going to impact bus routes. They just aren't sure how much. They are asking parents to be patient for the first week while they test out alternative routes through detours.
You come over on 20th, that whole bottleneck there is a pain. So then I go all the way over to 34th, go up to 12th and come back down because I don't want to be at that 20th Street intersection.
MnDOT tells us the goal is to get 8th Street open north and southbound by Labor Day. Kids went back to school in the Fargo School District today. First day enrollment for the district at 11,265. That's up almost 100 students. For parents and students at Discovery Middle School this morning, there were some noticeable changes in the parking lot. Valley News Team's Natalie Parsons explains.
For most students, summer officially ends when it's time to head back to school. And parents are noticing a change when it comes to dropping off and picking up their children this year at Discovery Middle School.
You can't park in the loop anymore. They're like, you'll have to park in either one of the lots.
Diana Grant is wondering how it will all work out while driving her children to and from school. As for Trent Legacy, he's not fazed by the new drop-off or pickup changes, but he arrives early each time to make things easier.
First week of school is pretty horrible. It's just, everybody getting back into a rhythm.
Discovery Middle School saw drop-off confusion Thursday morning, so they came up with a new plan, emailing parents later in the day to make use of both the west and south lots, to no longer park in the loop, and drop students off in designated areas and have them walk to your vehicle at pickup. Where you see the red X's are for buses only.
There's kids walking all over the place through here. And it's going to take, one time for someone to get hit. And it's like, then what are they going to do?
Discovery's principal says in the past, with only one drop-off point, traffic would back up on 40th Avenue. But the new plans will alleviate that and keep things moving.
They come in one entrance and go out the next, and both parking lots. So it gives us 2 dropout loops.
Dr. Davis, along with some parents, agree the first day of school is always congested, with more people than usual driving children to school. But in the days following, many will switch to riding the bus, further reducing congestion in the area. In Fargo, Natalie Parsons, Valley News Live.
Discovery Middle School saw a decrease in enrollment this year due to boundary changes in the area. And for more information about the school's drop-off and pickup plans, head to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. Solid support tonight for a member of the Moorhead Police Department. Officer Brad Shank is battling brain cancer, and tonight a fundraiser was held with all the money raised going to support the Moorhead officer. EHP CrossFit held the Barbells and Brews Brawl event at the Brick House tonight. Teams competed in a number of CrossFit challenges and workouts, staying in shape and having a little fun at the same time.
Just amazing, the outpouring support of the whole community. family and friends, co-workers coming out here and working out on my behalf.
It's a really neat way for us to show our support for the community. We're a fitness-oriented organization, but it's more about bringing the community together.
EHP CrossFit has done this before, giving proceeds to families in need. Brazilian police have charged Ryan Lochte with filing a false robbery report during the Olympics. Lochte initially said that he and 3 other swimmers were robbed at gunpoint in a taxi by men with a police badge as they returned to the Olympic Village from a party. Well, security video suggested the 4 actually faced security guards after vandalizing a gas station restroom. Well, there's no doubt that interest in Bison football remains high. Tonight's Bison Block Party is the latest evidence to show you. Shields hosting what's become an annual event in the parking lot at their All Sports store on 45th Street. There was a huge crowd there tonight. Hot dogs were served, there were inflatable games, and a live band playing music. The stars of the show, of course, were Coach Kleiman and the NDSU Bison football team.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
A gray and cool day on this Thursday. Quite a bit of clouds and some passing sprinkles in the early half of the day with only spotty shower activity in the afternoon. Then dry air worked its way in and there was green and there was gold across the FM area tonight as we prepare for the onset of the Bison's quest for 6. Here's a look at what's going on right now. A quiet evening out there. Winds have settled down substantially. Your temperature 63. Dew points in the low 50s, so we will cool off once our clouds completely clear out of here. 61 in Moorhead, a wind from the southwest, only 5 miles per hour. 56 in Grand Forks, and we have south-southwest winds at about 10 miles per hour. A lot of low 50s, northwest Minnesota, 52, Thief River Falls, 55, Valley City, Jamestown, and Devils Lake, both at 57. And that's the same reading we find this hour in Fergus Falls. Radar, pretty quiet across most of our region. Heading toward Thunder Bay, we're seeing some scattered showers. That low pressure system bringing the northwest flow, that cool air settling into North Dakota, northern and central Minnesota. It is a little warmer down to the south, but not so hot in the Rockies of portions of Wyoming and southern Montana where flakes of snow is starting to show up. We're not expecting snow tonight, but your hour-by-hour forecast shows as we go through the overnight, temperatures will slip through the 50s into the 40s in northwest Minnesota. And we'll start out our Friday with some cool temperatures out there, crisp for sure, and mostly sunny skies. That southerly wind direction does continue as we go through the mid-morning hours. We'll see it become a little more southwesterly, 5 to maybe as high as 15 miles per hour in the early afternoon. Midday temperatures warmer than the high we saw today, which was 71 in Fargo. 72 was the high in Grand Forks today. We'll match that by midday. Now take a look at your afternoon. We'll see upper 70s return to the valley. Clouds also return to the region for Friday night, and there will be a chance for scattered showers and thunder showers in the early evening hours out to the west. And then as we go through the overnight, the chances will increase throughout our central viewing area. So rain Friday night, and that will last into our Saturday as well. Hour-by-hour forecast, a chilly start to the day, climbing through the low 70s midday, reaching those upper 70s late. Wind from the south-southwest at around 5 to 15. 76 to 77 for Grand Forks as well, mid-70s in Devils Lake. It does look like temperatures will be in the low 70s for Lakes Country. A pretty fair day indeed. Notice the cooler colors down to the southwest in the afternoon as a result of the increase in clouds and shower chances there. A mackerel sky, if you will, some very small cumulus clouds drifting overhead. Fox Home Joanne uploaded this to valleynewslive.com. We'd love to see your photos as well. Okay, Friday night, overnight into Saturday morning, a decent chance of showers. They should push out as we go through our afternoon. A cooler Saturday as a result of those clouds. Sunday, well, the south winds will bring in the humid air and the summer-like temperatures return, Mike. So even though a lot of folks are talking back to school, it does look like back to summer is also part of the equation.
And some fun left in it, yeah.
You bet.
Thanks. There's news tonight of a jewelry recall involving thousands of M&M branded jewelry. Details later on Valley News Live 10 at 10. Up next, the quest to find a vaccine for the Zika virus is speeding up thanks to some brave volunteers.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live.